It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
West guys, West guys, West guys, these guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. And welcome to another edition of Wise Guys. These guys know sport. You know, you with your host, your main host is man Clarence Nixon and Trey Larkins, man. Trey having a couple difficulties, but we go keep the show rolling. How's everybody doing today? Everybody, please remember, go follow Wise Guys. At Wise Guys, Instagram, these guys know sports, and Twitter, _OH. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page at Wise Guys. Hey, Trey, man. What's going on?
Oh, what's up? I'm trying to bring my video on here. Can you hear me?
Oh, dude, I can hear you, man.
I'm trying to get my video going. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get my video going. I don't know. It keeps saying you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it. I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. Okay. All right, here we you see me? We there?
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, we still here. Yeah, we here.
Okay. Clarence, what's up, brother?
Now, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. It's what, Friday, July 31st, last day of the month?
Yep, it's the last day.
And everybody remember going follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. So, Clarence, this is actually my first show of the week because Monday we missed the show because we had some power outages here in the Cincinnati area. And then Wednesday I had a family emergency. So, bro, real quick before we get started, I want to give you a lot of credit for your interview that you had with Christian Bradley, longtime 49ers fan. He came on the show on Wednesday on the Worldwide Sports Network with my co-host Clarence, and you did a hell of a job with that interview, bro. So I want to give you kudos on hosting that interview real well that you did with Christian, man. And we got to bring Christian back on because I had so much I wanted to get into with Christian because you know his 49ers, they have traumatized my Packers and my quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Like they have traumatized us, Clarence. I hate the 49ers.
Yeah, I see the rival between those two, my guy, man. But we got a good show ahead of us today, man.
Definitely got a big time show ahead. We're gonna talk about Zion Williamson on the minutes restriction with the New Orleans Pelicans. Also, later on the show, we're gonna talk about the Jamal Adams trade. I didn't give y'all a chance to give y'all my reaction on that. We'll talk about that later on the show as well. And also, your quarterback, Joe Burrow, got paid this week. So we'll talk about that here in a bit on the show. But we begin in the NBA as last night, the Los Angeles Lakers and the LA Clippers got it going in the bubble, the Battle of LA, but this time it was in Orlando in the bubble, and the Lakers beat the Clippers 103-101. LeBron James had 16 points, 6 of 19 shooting from the floor. Anthony Davis showed up, 34 points. Kawhi Leonard, 28. Paul George, 30. So, as you know, opened up the show today, Clarence, with the Battle of LA, and that being the first official game that actually counts towards teams' records and so forth. What was your biggest takeaway from the Battle of LA last night?
Well, it came down to the last minutes, and we knew, me and you both know that we was in a good game ahead of us. So we got what we asked for, and we was watching it, and it was a good game. It was a good game. But my biggest takeaway from here is LeBron James, like, he played a serviceable, in my opinion, a serviceable game in last night with his 16 points from 6 from 19 shooting. He was shooting poorly. He didn't have a good shooting night, but he was very serviceable with 11 rebounds and 7 assists. And here's the other thing. Anthony Davis played tremendous. Anthony Davis, he had a good game that helped benefit him to win the game. And for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they were just heating it up, 58 points combined. And it was an incredible game we was watching from both teams. But I was more excited that the Lakers got the victory and LeBron James closed it out with a putback layup from his own shot. So that is something to be more excited about, Trey, man. Like the Lakers, they even tied up the season series of 2-2. So it's very interesting to see what these two teams go be and play in the playoffs. So my biggest takeaway, like LeBron James came in the clutch again.
Boy, let me school you on what the biggest takeaway that you should have had last night after watching that game. My biggest takeaway is everything that I've been telling you all season long. Last night was a prime example as to why the Clippers are going to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, Clarence. Because last night, the Lakers, what they get, let me look at these numbers. They got 34 from Anthony Davis. They had some clutch moments from LeBron James late in that basketball game. I think Deion Waiters even dropped 13 or 14 points, so he contributed as well. They did all of those things effectively, and they still only beat the Clippers by 2 points. And you gotta remember, the Clippers are without two of their best four players, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams. So if Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell play in this game, I believe the Clippers win going away. Because this was a game where the Lakers, to me, they maximized their potential. They showed what kind of team that they are, and they put everything on display, and they played Laker basketball. And even playing Laker basketball, they still only beat the Clippers by 2 points. And in this particular game, if I'm not mistaken, the Clippers turned the ball over 20 times. They had 20 turnovers in this game, and they still only lost by 2 points. The Clippers are by far – my bad, my phone failed, man. I was trying to turn my phone. The Clippers are by far the better team. They are the deeper team. They're the better coached team. The Lakers have two of the top 5 players in the NBA in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis and LeBron James will show up when the moment presents itself. But I don't believe they have enough to beat the Clippers, a team who has depth, a team who has playoff experience under their belt, and Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Doc Rivers at the head coaching spot. Tyronn Lue won a championship as well. I think last night's biggest takeaway for you and other Laker fans should have been, even at our best, we can't beat the Clippers because they had two of their best 4 players out and only lost by 2 points.
Look, yeah, they missed a lot. They missed 40 shots. They missed 40 shots in the game yesterday by the bench. And like the absence of Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, it hurted the team. It hurted the team because they didn't have that third and fourth option off the bench doing all the scoring. So when I look at this, let me look at this Lakers team. They played tremendous. Kyle Kuzma even put up dub points. He was a good supporter off the bench. And Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they were just on fire, man. These two guys right here, they are capable of leading this Lakers team.
LeBron wasn't on fire. LeBron shot terrible in this game.
Well, I'm saying both of them. LeBron had a good serviceable game. He had a bad shooting night, but his serviceable, it was still accepted. And Anthony Davis, he shot better than LeBron from the 3-point. 40% compared to 31%. So I think this LA Lakers team, man, they're ready. They're getting better.
So you know, it's funny because this is a team that you said was loaded. You said this Lakers team was loaded. I remember. I'm young enough to remember a time where you said that this Lakers team is loaded. You said that on a few shows back. Remember that?
Yeah, because top 5 players in the NBA.
Right, but after LeBron and Anthony Davis, there is a significant drop-off. I told you this. But look, this is the thing I want to say, too. One of the things that I also noticed after watching that game last night, Anthony Davis went scoreless in the fourth quarter. Clarence, that cannot happen if the Lakers want to have any chance of beating the Clippers once these games start mattering in the playoffs. You need to have Anthony Davis assert himself and be aggressive for the Lakers to have any chance. Because I think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they match up well with LeBron. And LeBron is 35 years of age. I'm just looking at down the road, at some point, you're going to need Anthony Davis to assert himself and be more aggressive on the offensive end for the Lakers to have even a chance. That's just even having a chance. And let's not forget, Montrezl Harrell is a physical defender. And I think Montrezl Harrell would have made things a little bit more difficult on AD. He might not have had 34 if Montrezl Harrell would have played. He might have had 24, 25, but he might not have had 34.
Nah.
So what happened? So what happened in the first 3 matchups when the Lakers and Clippers played against each other and Anthony Davis didn't show up in those fourth quarters? What happened?
What happened? They got the W at least. They got the W in them three and out of them games. Well, I think
they got the W. Before last night, they had beat the Clippers 1 out of 3. You remember the Clippers were up 2-1. You know, so what I'm saying is Anthony Davis so far in these fourth quarters of these games, he hasn't asserted himself. He hasn't really made plays for his team to win. So I think last night, if Montrezl Harrell would have showed up and would have played, I don't think Anthony Davis would have had 34 points because he was scoreless in the fourth quarter and Montrezl Harrell wasn't even playing.
I think for Anthony Davis, he's getting used to the feeling of playing important deep games and games that's gonna be mattering. And like you said, he was scoreless in the fourth quarter, and that's big. When your top superstar is scoreless in the NBA, it turned your team to a one-dimensional team. It really does. But luckily, LeBron James came in the clutch and did it again. And that was gonna lead us to our next question, though, Trey. Who do you trust more in the clutch, LeBron or Kawhi? As you see last night, Kawhi had the opportunity to hit the game-winner shot or go ahead bucket, but then he gave it away and gave it to Paul George. Paul George obviously had the hot hand. So yeah. Who you giving the ball to in the clutch time?
Well, I want to say this real quick. I actually want to give LeBron some credit because I thought, although he didn't shoot well last night, he really played sensational defense late in that game. He guarded on that last play of the game. Kawhi had the ball at first, and LeBron was guarding Kawhi. Then they switched. LeBron guarded Paul George, made the shot tough on Paul George to be able to hit. So LeBron, throughout these last, I would say 3 or 4 years, I've been critical of LeBron, Clarence, talking about how he doesn't play defense anymore. But last night, when the game was on the line and all the chips was forward and it was a play needed to be made, LeBron James showed up defensively, and he got stops when he needed to for his Lakers. So I'm going to give him credit on that because he really, really showed up on the defensive end of the floor. And I don't know what the Clippers were thinking on that play when LeBron missed that shot, got his own putback. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, what are you doing?
A high motor, what type of he got? He got like a high motor that allows him to keep going and going, even through the clutch time. And for them to be slacking and lazy off that rebound, LeBron got that putback. That just shows you who wanted it more in that game.
Yeah, I agree. But I want to say this. I think I'll get to that in a second. To answer your question, who do I trust more in the clutch, LeBron or Kawhi moving forward? I'm going to trust Kawhi Leonard. Now, last night, yes, because I believe that Kawhi Leonard offensively right now at this moment in his career is a better offensive player than LeBron is as far as being able to score. If I need a bucket, I'm giving the ball to Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard can hit the mid-range shot. He also can hit the three-point shot as well, get to the free throw line, and hit free throw shots. I trust Kawhi Leonard more than I trust LeBron in late game situations at the free throw line. So if I need a clutch shot, I'm picking Kawhi over LeBron because I think he has a better all-around offensive game as far as being able to score the basketball. He's not a better playmaker than LeBron, but he's a better scorer than LeBron at this point in his career. So I'm picking Kawhi in a clutch moment. Don't get fooled off last night. Last night was just one game.
Look, playoff LeBron is different. He a whole different breed. I respect the man. And I just seen this man do a lot of amazing stuff in the playoffs that he hitting game winners to eliminating players. So I'm taking LeBron James on this one because these are the situations that he has been in before, that he's used to, that he knows from the back of his head. Like, the back of his head, he knows these type of situations where he getting himself into. And I think his playmaking ability will kick in when it's playoff, when it's for the basket. But I think for LeBron, he's more capable of hitting the clutch shot because it was numerous times. It's actually proven. It's actually proven that he hit any type of shot for the game winner any way it goes. Like, we can date back to 2014. 2013 or 14 when he hit the go-ahead layup bucket against Paul George when he was with the Pacers. Remember he hit a three-pointer on the Pacers, like from 2018. Like, this guy is clutch. I think everybody need to start giving this man his respect because he had moments when he came clutch for his team and won the game. I'm definitely taking
Clarence, but you giving him a lifetime clutch award. This is right now. This year in the bubble, who do you trust to make a clutch shot? LeBron or Kawhi? Not back from 2014. I'm not saying LeBron hasn't hit no big shots in his career. I'm talking about this year.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the ones he hit in the past, you can that helps my argument. Like, he's capable of hitting game winners. And for this bubble, I'm taking LeBron James because at the end of the day, he knows the shot. He knows what's important, what's at stake, and I think he gonna have the hot hand. And when LeBron get hot, it gets crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Now I'm gonna go. I got one more thing I want to talk about this particular topic, and I want you to follow off my lead on this because we didn't get a chance to come on Monday and talk about Lou Williams. So everybody knows the story by now. Lou Williams obviously went to Atlanta. He went to a funeral of a family member that passed away, and then he decided to go to Magic City and get some wings and some legs and see some thighs and stuff like that. So we already know the story surrounding Lou Williams, going to Magic City, which is a gentleman's club in Atlanta, in the A. I've been there, Clarence. So I want to say this before we even go any farther, okay? Because I want to ask you a question about who do you think took last night's game more serious, the Lakers or the Clippers? But before we get into that, I want to say something about Lou Williams. Listen, Clarence, I've been to Magic City. Them wings is good. Listen, I've been there. They good. They are good. They off the chain, man. You got to go when you go to Atlanta, go to Magic City and get some of those wings. Listen, everybody been making a huge deal about Lou Williams going to Magic City to get those wings at a gentleman's club. And I think that this has been completely overblown, Clarence. It's been completely overblown. I have no problem and no issue with Lou Williams going to Magic City to get some wings and have a little fun, have a little more fun and a little more recreational activities at Magic City. I have no problem with it. Okay, listen, it's not going to affect his team winning the championship. He's going to miss the first 2 games. I think like when he comes back, after he gets on quarantine for 10 days, he's going to miss 2 games after that. I don't think this is going to impact the Clippers' championship aspirations. I think the Clippers are going to be just fine, and I have no problem with Lou going to Magic City to get some of the wings that are named after him. He has a dish at Magic City, Clarence, that's named after him. It's called the Sweet Lou Wings at Magic City. If I got some wings named after me and I'm in that particular city, I'm probably going to go get me some as well. I had no problem with Lou Williams. I think it was completely overblown. The media just took the story and ran with it. I didn't have no problem with it.
See, this is why I disagree at. I feel like for Lou Williams, when he was attending a funeral and trying to come back, he was putting his team at stake. He was putting his team at stake when he's coming back from outside the bubble to inside the bubble. And I feel like that in this time of day with this coronavirus and this pandemic and the NBA bubble, I think that he had to think about the team. You got to think about the team first. Like, imagine if he did return back and then came back and boom, one of the players got coronavirus and people go look at Lou like this is your fault. And I think
But Clarence, I want to challenge that because I want you to stay with me on this. Montrezl Harrell also left the bubble. Patrick Beverly also left the bubble. Shamet left the bubble. They have had numerous players who have left the bubble. That's why the fact that we talking about, I think the problem is that he went to a strip club. So I think we are at a point now in this whole conversation where now we're shaming strip clubs. That's what it's all about, Clarence. If he was at a buffet in Atlanta, if he was at the mall or anything like that, I don't think we would be making that much of a deal about it. We're making a big deal about it because he went to a strip club. That's why the media blowing it up.
I think the problem is though the whole theme of it is just a simple fact that you're coming outside the bubble and you went to a strip club known that is very known in Atlanta and it got good food there and it reports did say he ate his food alone by himself, so nobody didn't bother him. But at the same time, he's going to another environment that that someone might be walking around with the COVID-19. So I feel like you need to put the team first and don't risk anything. For these Montrezl Harrell and Shamet, this was before when the bubble was actually about to start, and they came back clear. So I think him serving this 10-day quarantine, though, it's going to make sure that they're safe, that he's safe, and hopefully he get back on the court in a couple of days.
But is it really going to impact their championship aspirations?
Yeah, because they're not winning it. I mean, LA Lakers is taking his title, and him not playing, he's one of the third scorers on the team. That's going to affect them a lot.
You actually believe that him going to Magic City is going to affect the Clippers playoffs, like the championship aspirations? Are you kidding me? Last night was a prime example as to why the Clippers are going to beat the Lakers once these games really start mattering and we get to the Western Conference Finals. Listen, him going to the Magic City does not impact the Clippers championship aspirations whatsoever. Lou Williams is going to be back in time enough to get into a rhythm to be able to help contribute on this run that the Clippers are about to embark on, Clarence. Because I already told you, I think the Clippers are going to win a championship. I think the Celtics going to get to the NBA Finals, even though right now live, they losing to the Bucks and Giannis on ESPN. So everybody, y'all can go check that out after y'all get done watching us. But before we move on, I just think that the media has overblown this. We part of the media too. But guess what? On Wise Guys, I'm going to keep it real. I think that they are overblowing it because he was at a strip club. If it was any other, like a restaurant establishment or like a mall, this would not have got the media attention that it got. I ain't blaming Lou. He won some wings, and them wings at Magic City is off the chain. I've been there, okay? I've been to Atlanta, and I love that. I love the wings, okay? I love them. So I just think it's overblown, and to be honest, it's kind of funny. And the reason why it's funny is if you know Lou Williams off the court, this kind of is a part of his lifestyle. It's kind of part of his personality. I have no problem with it whatsoever, Lou. Do you? Like, this the only thing, if this the only thing that you're going to be able to criticize Lou throughout the course of his career, I would say Lou Williams is doing pretty damn a good job, for real, honestly.
Wise Guys is live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. And make sure y'all are tuned in because Trey is thinking Lou Williams' situation is hilarious. Hey, but we go move on to the next game that was happening earlier before the Lakers and Clippers game. You know, the Jazz defeated the Pelicans 106-104. Donovan Mitchell had 20.5 rebounds, 5 assists. Gobert 14 and 12, and Brandon Ingram had 23 points. Jrue Holiday 20 points, and Zion 13 points and 1 rebound in 15 minutes. So, Art, this is the question I wanted to ask you. What did you make of Brandon Ingram's performance last night?
Well, when I was watching the game last night, I was sitting here thinking to myself that everybody's been talking about Zion Williamson being the superstar that's ready to take over in New Orleans. And him coming out of Duke, he was obviously, one of the best players that played at Duke last year, along with RJ Barrett and so forth, playing for Mike Krzyzewski. He led Duke on a nice, not deep, but a nice tournament run. Duke didn't ultimately win the championship, but Zion and them did a good job last year in the NCAA tournament. They didn't accomplish their ultimate goal, but they had a nice run. When you look at Zion Williamson, everybody is talking about him as being the superstar and the number one option for the New Orleans Pelicans moving forward. And after I was watching Brandon Ingram last night, my biggest takeaway was, we talking about Zion, we need to start talking about Brandon Ingram because this is a superstar that's coming up. Like, I believe when you look at his game, he kind of remind me of KD. Like, when I really watch Brandon Ingram, I watch him and I be thinking, he reminds me of a young Kevin Durant. The way he is able to put the ball in the bucket and how long he is. Like, he's long. Like, it's hard to block his shot. He can get his mid-range shot off anywhere around the perimeter. Also, he can hit his free throw shots as well. Not afraid of the big moment. He missed that last shot last night, that potential game winner. But that was a nice look. He wasn't scared to take the shot. I think we need to start putting some respect on Brandon Ingram's name. And when it comes to the NBA Most Improved Player Award, go ahead and give it to Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram won that award. He won that award this year, and he deserves it. I just think we need to start paying some respects to Brandon Ingram and not just talk about Zion. Because all we talk about when it comes to the Pelicans is Zion Williamson. We need to be talking about Brandon Ingram as well.
So I'm going to just say this. They were outscored in the fourth quarter 17-8 when Zion left the floor. And Brandon Ingram, he had a poor shooting night, a 7 of 20, and 8 rebounds. I think statistically, his play style, he's a good guy. He's a good small forward that's going to be a superstar in the future. I believe that. But when Zion's on the field, they're very effective. I mean, he's a complete, not a complete player, but for Zion, he's really effective when he's on the court with them. For Brandon Ingram, I think for watching him, you see the hard work he puts in practice and how he's trying to grow and be better, extend his game more, and his length and his mental of being able to get better every day. I think that's something that makes him very special. That makes him very special, and he's going to be a special player in the NBA in a few years. And I think him and Zion, they could conform like a 1-2 punch at the forward positions. Like, and I think they can have a good something going. Like, I think they have something really good going. But I'll be definitely.
And I think that, I would say, especially last year, I kind of felt like LeBron in a way, not purposely, but LeBron kind of stunted his growth, because when you playing with LeBron James, it's the LeBron James show. He is the system. He is a system within himself. Yeah. So he is going to be ball dominant and be the playmaker for your team. Now that Brandon Ingram is on the New Orleans Pelicans and Alvin Gentry is giving him an opportunity to make plays with the basketball in his hands, I think we've seen the improvements that he's made in his game. He's working hard. He's trying to get better. And I think he's on the come up. I'm not ready to say he's on Jason Tatum's level just yet, because I think Jason Tatum's really going to be a superstar. I think Brandon Ingram got that potential as well, though, if he continues to get better. And like I said, the NBA Most Improved Player Award, go on and give it to him because he's been balling out this year. But I think Alvin Gentry put him in a position, Clarence, this year to be successful and gave him an opportunity to make plays for the New Orleans Pelicans.
All right. Let's move on. Hey, Mr. Larkins, let's move on real quick. So, earlier today, the NFL suspended former receiver Antonio Brown 8 games without pay for multiple violations of NFL personal conduct policy. Now, if he signs with another team before the regular season, he would be allowed to participate in the preseason activities. So my question is to you, do you believe Antonio Brown will ever play in the NFL again?
I would say yes. I think AB is going to get a chance to play in the NFL again, believe it or not. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe when you have superstar talent, I think teams will make a way for you to be on their team. And I think Antonio Brown, obviously, he's a first ballot wide receiver, first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. And, oh yeah, AB. When you look at AB's numbers, AB off the chain. Like Antonio Brown is the real deal. I had to really accept that he was the best receiver in the NFL when he was playing, because I used to go back and forth between him and Julio, but it was Antonio Brown. Julio Brown
was talented, but Antonio Brown was more consistent.
He was more consistent, and he was more of a bigger playmaker to me. Like, I think AB made more plays than Julio. And Julio was off the chain. He was nice, but AB, even in the playoffs, he made plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I remember back in 2018, I think 2018 playoffs. I want to say the year when the Eagles won the Super Bowl over the Patriots. That year in that playoffs, I don't know if you remember that playoff game when Jacksonville was playing Pittsburgh. Though Pittsburgh, it was like a shootout. AB was scoring touchdowns though for the Steelers. He was making plays. I had to really come to terms with it and accept the fact that this dude is the best receiver in the NFL. I love Julio Jones. I love Larry Fitzgerald. At one point I was a Megatron fan. I had to admit Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the NFL. I think Antonio Brown can still contribute to a team. I think depending on where he plays, I think you can get better results from Antonio Brown in the latter part of his career. So I think these general managers and these owners, when you can play, they'll make a way for you to be on their team. Look how many chances Terrell Owens got after teams that said that he was a distraction in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like, he got opportunity after opportunity, going to the Buffalo Bills, coming to play for your Cincinnati Bengals at one point. And I love T.O. I never had a problem with Terrell Owens, but the perception of T.O. was he was a distraction in the locker room. But teams always found a way to sign Terrell Owens because he's great. So when you have greatness around you and you have that kind of capability, I think teams will make a way for you to be on their squad. So I wouldn't say that he's done playing in the NFL just yet.
Yeah, first of all, I want AB to get help, get mental treatment, because I think he's the talented receiver, and I think he brings more to the table than any other receiver in the league right now, even including Julio. I think he can do as much as every route in possible route running, anything that you just stated. And when you look at Antonio Brown, 6 straight seasons with at least 100 catches, 1,200 receiving yards, and at least 8 touchdowns straight, at least 8 touchdowns. I think this is a playmaker that's gonna make plays for you, man. And for Antonio Brown, I think he is gonna play in the league again, because it's gonna be a team, a playoff contender team or a Super Bowl contender team. They're gonna want to swoop him up because they're gonna think he's the last piece. And it's a lot of potential teams that needs him. You hear me? Needs him on their team to give them that extra boost. And I think when he goes on any team, he makes the team great. He makes the team great in their passing abilities. And him just being suspended for the first 8 games and he's not playing. If he gets signs to a team, he can do activities in the preseason with the team. So other teams gonna be like, oh, not the other team, but the teams that if they sign him, they gonna see it firsthand. Man, it's good. This man is really good, and we really getting something special out of him. Even though he's gonna miss the first 8 games, but we got Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the league. If we keep it straight on, well, this season go as planned. I really think that some teams are setting up to really get him. Really, but
I think you gotta keep this in mind as well, though. Any team that brings Antonio Brown into their facility and they sign him to a contract, it has to be a team, Clarence, that has structure. It has to be a team that has a proven head coach and a head coach that has control over that organization. He can't go to a team like the Arizona Cardinals because I don't see him working out with Cliff Kingsbury. I think he'll run all over Cliff Kingsbury. He can't go to Cliff Kingsbury. He has to go to an organization where the coach is in charge and the coach has job security and it's the coach's show. Like the Patriots, I can't believe I'm saying yes. Bill Belichick is running the New England Patriots.
His defense is losing for the up and out. I think this is gonna be a bad year for New England, man.
You talking about the team? I'm talking about what would be a good fit for him. I think it'd be a good fit for him. He already played in New England for a brief stint, but I'm talking about he has to go to a team where the coach has the control. Bill Belichick has the control in New England. Make no mistake about it. I would also say Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll with the Seattle Seahawks. He has control and he has job security in that Seattle Seahawks organization. So I think that would also be a good fit for him. You know what? I got one more team for you that I think it'd be a great fit for him, but I know we ain't gonna do it. I think he'll be great to line him up across from Davante Adams. Imagine, oh my God, imagine Davante Adams and Antonio Brown with my Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers throwing them the football. We would be elite Super Bowl contenders with AB. Everything that we need in that second consistent receiver, Antonio Brown would give us immediately when he steps on the field.
I think if AB team up with Aaron Rodgers, I think that'd be very dangerous for the simple fact that Aaron, he can help bail out. Like he's gonna turn Davante Adams to a decoy. What I mean by that is AB go get all the attention. Davante Adams go get, and he go. Davante Adams, he's a good person in one-on-one coverage, so he's gonna beat. It gives him a lot of opportunities to make plays, and I think that will be. That was leading to our next question. Like, which team do you think is the best fit for Antonio Brown? Like, and you said the Packers, right?
I say, we ain't gonna do it. But I would say the reason why I wouldn't say us is because we're not going to do it. But I think the team that would be the best fit for him would be the Seattle Seahawks, because I think that Pete Carroll. Oh, man, you cheat. Why you cheating off my notes? Okay. So I'll give you my reason first, and you go ahead. The reason why is I think you have a head coach in Pete Carroll who's won a Super Bowl for that organization. He has job security in that organization. So I think he'll get good results out of Antonio Brown. And I think Pete Carroll's one of those coaches. He doesn't mind a player having personality. He doesn't mind a player being themselves. As long as you show up on the football field on Sunday and produce, Pete Carroll has no problem with you having a big personality. So I think that's part of the reason why the Seattle Seahawks is one of the best fits for AB.
Yeah, I agree too, though. And I think about like AB joining Russell Wilson and that passing attack that they got over there in Seattle. I think they'll be a top NFC team, like legit, because they have a reliable passing game. You got a reliable receiver, Antonio Brown. You got a young receiver core, DK Metcalf, and I just think. Excuse me. I think they'd just be loaded. They'd be loaded with very talented. Like Chris Carson, I like him in the run, but he would make them legit. But if you really think about it, if you put Antonio Brown with Aaron Rodgers, though, that probably would have been great. But then it probably wouldn't, because Green Bay, they are very structured enough. They wants to win. They wants to win. They're achieved. And I think for Antonio Brown, I don't think his personality would fit well with that culture, but it'd be a damn good little duo with him and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that would be great for Seattle. If they can accept his personality and get his head straight together, I think Seattle will be like the biggest threat in that AFC West and maybe the NFC. Hell, the whole NFL.
Yeah, right. I completely agree with you. I'm going to give you one more team that may be a dark horse. I'm not going to say they would necessarily sign him, but I think it'll be a dark horse. And I know you're probably going to disagree, but I would even say, believe it or not, the Tennessee Titans. I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. I think Mike Vrabel has control over his organization. And this year, or last year rather, the fact that they got to the AFC Championship game, those players believe in Mike Vrabel. They believe in Mike Vrabel. They really, really do. I think Mike Vrabel would command some respect from Antonio Brown.
So you're giving him his credit now?
Huh?
You giving Ryan Tannehill his credit?
I ain't saying about Ryan Tannehill. I said Mike Vrabel, the head coach. Huh?
That's gonna be the person he's throwing it to, though. Like getting thrown it to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's the only thing. That's the only problem I'm talking about as far as the coach-player relationship. I don't think Antonio Brown will be happy when Ryan Tannehill overthrows him and it's an interception. He wants his touches. He don't want he want to get his receptions. He want to touch the football. You can't just have Antonio Brown out there blocking. I heard somebody say they think the Ravens would be a good fit for Antonio Brown. I completely disagree.
I think that's scary. Like AB with the Ravens. Like he give Lamar a legitimate, like, deep threat, all around receiver. I think that would be actually another good place for him to go.
I disagree.
They lack.
That would be a terrible fit. That would be a terrible fit. That is a running football team. They're not going to cater to Antonio Brown's whining when he's not getting the football. What I'm saying, he can't go to a team that's a running football team. He'll go into that locker room and destroy the chemistry. Now, I like the coach. Go ahead. Let 1 week go by when Antonio Brown don't get his receptions. He has one reception for 6 yards. I guarantee you we're gonna hear something from Antonio Brown about it. He gonna be frustrated. I like the coach, though. I love John Harbaugh. I think John Harbaugh can handle Antonio Brown's personality. I just don't like the team play style and how their team is built. They're not built to throw the ball all over the yard, and Antonio Brown wants his touches.
All right, and let's try to move. Let's move on, man. So last night, Zion Williamson, he had 13 points on 6 of 8 shots in 15 minutes of play until the loss of the Utah Jazz. And the Pelicans are limiting Zion Williamson minutes. Is this the right thing to do, Trey?
I say no. I don't understand this here, Clarence, because we had a whole 5-month break. Like, what are we doing here? And then the way they were using him last night, he played, 15 minutes? So he kept playing in like 3-minute spurts. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, I didn't like the way they was managing his minutes. I think Zion Williamson needs to play. Like, it's time to let him play and kind of let the wheels off, the training wheels off, per se. Like, let him go out and play basketball. I know it's got to be frustrating for him because he want to be out there and help his team win basketball games so they can position themselves to capture that 8th seed in the Western Conference. I think Zion Williamson should be playing nice quality minutes, and you have to let him get back into a rhythm and be able to have some chemistry with his other teammates.
Yeah.
I think the Pelicans are making a mistake here, Clarence.
Yeah, Zion, he was stated that he was pissed. That he was pissed at his time that he was in. But the decision to limit his minutes was by the medical staff that Coach Gentry stated in the press conference. And he only practiced in 5-on-5 situations only 4 times, including Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But you're kind of right, because the Pelicans were outscored in the fourth quarter 17-8 when Zion left the floor. And I think for Zion, you got to let him play to his like limit, to his max, because he I ain't gonna lie, when you go number one, you expect your number one to show up. And that's what Zion wants to do. He wants to show up for his team. He wants to be a leader to his team, and he wants to be out there on the floor with them. And him not being on the floor, it hurts them bad, because Zion give him that playmaking ability that they don't have when he's not on the court, man.
Normally when Zion's on the court, he is helping the Pelicans. But last night, I think he was like a -12 when he was on the court playing last night. So he didn't really play very well as far as when he was on the court. And he didn't have any rebounds when he played in those 15 minutes. He didn't have no rebounds.
He was 6 for 8 on the floor. He was giving them baskets that they needed.
He shot well. He shot well.
He missed 2 shots, but I get what you're saying. Like a -12, like he didn't have what he had, like 1 rebound, 1 assist. Like
if that, I don't even know if he even had that. You got to be able to rebound the basketball. Like you got to assert yourself in the paint and command your rebounds. That's what we need from Zion.
Yeah, but and he's a good second chance guy. He can a second chance get to the back basket, you know. But I think for on his end, like the medical staff is just watching him enough that he doesn't hurt any other bone or injury or cause another one. But him playing only 15 minutes, that's not enough. If you're trying to make a playoff push, he needs to play at least like 25 minutes to at least.
I think it's actually even more kind of a risk when you keep having him go out there and play, come back to the bench. Go out there and play, come back to the bench. I think it kind of, in a way, it causes an higher risk, because it's like his body's not having no consistent, his body's not being consistent. His body's wondering, all right, I'm playing, I'm not. I'm playing, I'm on the bike. I'm playing, I'm on the bench. What are we doing here? I think you need to have some consistency with his minutes. Him going to the bench and then going out there and playing, I think it actually increases chances of injury. To that, you say what? You agree with that or disagree?
I think when he's not playing, he's playing limited minutes. I think what was the question again?
I was saying that I believe the fact that he's going on the floor, that he going to the bench, going to the floor, going to the bike, it's inconsistent. I think it actually increases the chances of him getting injured. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think so. When you have him doing 3 different things like at once, like you want to make sure he's constant. If he's on the bench and stuff, he should be on that bike for probably like 10 to 15 minutes and let him rest his knee, rest whatever. I think the Pelicans doing a good job of nursing his injury, because they don't want to risk something big happening. But in this type of situation, it's only 8 games in this bubble, and they need him the most because he's effective when he's on the court, man.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where I think the Pelicans are doing something that I accuse a lot of women in my life of doing, Clarence. It's called overthinking. Sometimes you can overthink it. I think Alvin Gentry and the New Orleans Pelicans is kind of overthinking this. You got to let this boy play, man. This kid, he has what it takes to be a superstar one day. Let him play. He loves basketball. I remember I was watching a press conference a couple days ago, and they was asking him about the bubble and asking him about the experience of the bubble. He said 3 words: I want to hoop. That's what Zion wants to do. He wants to hoop. I think Alvin Gentry and the New Orleans Pelicans organization are kind of overthinking this here a little bit, Clarence. Something that we always accuse women in our life of doing.
Yeah. Everybody follow Wise Guys on Facebook at Wise Guys, Instagram These Guys Know Sports, and Twitter WiseGuys_OH. We are live on a worldwide sports radio network talking about the Zion Williamson limited on his minutes. But we got to definitely move on, Trey. Now I want to know, remember Jamal Adams on Saturday? Jamal Adams was traded from the New York Jets to the Seattle Seahawks for 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. Quick, I want to know, what was your reaction towards the trade? Because I never get a chance to even know about your reaction.
So initially, when I first heard about the trade and I read the details of the trade, initially I was like, wow, the Jets got a haul for Jamal Adams. They got a haul, a 2021 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, 2022 first-round pick. I said, they got a haul for Jamal Adams. 2 future first-round picks. I said, man, that was amazing. But then I started thinking about over the last 10 years. And I thought about teams that have won the Super Bowl. Teams that have won a Super Bowl over the last 10 years, majority of those teams, not all, but majority of those teams have had a star safety. And I'm looking at 2010. We won a Super Bowl. We had Nick Collins. He had a career-ending neck injury, but he was a dog, Clarence. Go look it up. I remember the Seattle Seahawks, when they won their Super Bowl, they had Cam Chancellor. I'm looking at these teams that have won Super Bowls. Also, the Denver Broncos, they won a Super Bowl in this decade. They had Ward. I can't think of his first name, but Ward. He's
TJ Ward.
Yeah, TJ Ward. He's nice. So I'm looking at these teams that have won Super Bowls, and they've had primetime star safeties. So I started thinking that if you believe that Jamal Adams is a superstar at his position, and he is, because so far in his career, he has balled out for the New York Jets. He was arguably the best player on that team because he made so many plays for the New York Jets defense. And not only is he a good player in coverage, he also can come down in the box and get tackles and attack your quarterback and get sacks. You love that about your safety. You want your safety to be able to come down in the box and make tackles. So I believe that if the Seattle Seahawks think that Jamal Adams is the player that can bring their defense back to being elite status like it was when they won a Super Bowl with Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas and Legion of Boom, I think you have to make this trade for Jamal Adams. And I think that was what was necessary in this situation. And I like the fact that Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks pulled the trigger.
So I'm gonna just say this: Jamal Adams, he's a good box safety, but he's effective in the coverage, but he needs to get better. But my next question is for you, though, Trey. Does this make the Seattle Seahawks the team to beat in the NFC West?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough because I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers, and they loaded. They still loaded, and
your boy and Mr. Christian Bradley, he said that Jimmy G for this year is gonna be a top 5 player, and he's gonna win an MVP.
What?
And yeah, that's what Mr. Christian Bradley said on the Wednesday show.
He said that?
He said Jimmy Garoppolo is gonna be a top 5 player, and he's gonna win the MVP, and he should throw more than 4,000 passing yards. Jimmy G is gonna have a bounce back year. This from Christian Bradley's mouth.
See, he knew to say that with you. He knew to say that with you because I wasn't gonna let him get away with that. He said, hell no, man. He said Jimmy G gonna be a top 5 player.
I asked him the same question. He said this doesn't make the Seahawks team to beat. He still believe the 49ers are the team to beat in the NFC West. Oh, man.
Yeah, I get all that, but I'm talking about the fact that he said Jimmy Garoppolo gonna be a top 5 player.
Hey, shout out to Christian Bradley, man. We got to bring him back on the show,
no,
man.
we got to bring him back. Oh, you damn right we bringing him back on. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. These 49er fans, they always tell me, Clarence, about how biased I am when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. And yet he's saying stuff like that. Is he serious?
Hey, I'm telling you, man, this is something that Christian Bradley stated on the Wise Guys show, man.
I'm in disbelief. He know better than that.
He
know better than that.
Hey, we gonna continue this conversation, man. But we definitely got to move on, man. So we're gonna make this the last topic. So Maurice Jones-Drew stated that for this upcoming NFL season, that Tom Brady would throw over 55 touchdowns. And look, the last time Brady even threw 50 touchdowns was in 2007. That was the year they lost in the Super Bowl, almost a perfect season. Do you believe Tom Brady would throw over 55 touchdowns?
Hell no. Maurice Jones-Drew was wrong here. I don't see it happening. I think Brady gonna have a nice season. I think he'll throw maybe 26, 27 touchdowns on the season, maybe even 30. He'll max out at 30, but not 55. I think Maurice Jones-Drew overblown it and he hyped it up a tad bit too much, Clarence. A tad bit. I don't know. I'm not sure what he was drinking in his cup when he said this because I don't see it happening. I do not see Brady throwing for 55 touchdowns. Like, I don't know. It's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to just say this. They're loaded. They're very loaded on that offensive side with Gronk, Shady McCoy, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin. I think they can have a big year. And here's all the possible big games for Brady. He can have at least five touchdowns. I say Carolina both games, a Monday Night Football game against the Giants and against the Detroit Lions. But I think for Brady in order for Brady to throw at least 55 touchdown passes, the game has got to be like styled to like a passing threat, and which I believe it can possibly be. But if you look on the average, Tom Brady throw on an average 29 touchdowns a season, and him throwing over 55 and 50 is his career high. I think that would be like a high expectation for Tom Brady to get to, man.
I think it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think he's throwing over 55 touchdowns because if you're making Tom Brady throw 55, trying to throw 55 touchdowns, he's literally is going to have like he could have like 50 attempts of throwing. And do you want that for Tom Brady? Do you want that?
No, but I will say this. They have the personnel to where they're going to light up the scoreboard and put some points up on the board. You got Mike Evans at the receiver spot. You got Chris Godwin as well. Both two of, the most elite receivers that we have in the NFL. I love Chris Godwin and Mike Evans at the receiver spot. Like, they can make plays.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Like, just give me a good projected. How many touchdowns do you believe Mike Evans will have? Like, just give me. You ain't gotta be on point. And if Brady did throw 55 touchdowns, how many touchdowns you think he gonna have out of those 55?
Oh, that means he would ball out. I mean, I would say just overall, I think that Mike Evans will have maybe 8 or 9 touchdowns, maybe this year. 7 or 8. So that means I say 7 because I like Chris Godwin, Clarence. I like Chris Godwin. He's gonna get his touches. You got Rob Gronkowski now as well at the tight end spot for the Bucks. So I mean, they got weapons. You got Cameron Brate as well. He wants to get his touches. I mean, you got so many players that you can distribute the football to. I like I said, they got weapons on this offensive side of the ball for Tom Brady. So they're going to be putting up points. Do I think Tom Brady going to have 55 touchdowns? I don't see it happening. But I think he can have probably 30 touchdowns because I seen Jameis Winston last year had 33? He had 33 touchdowns last year. I think. Was it 33? I believe it was 33. Like, he had somewhere around there. So if Jameis could get you 33 touchdowns, I think Tom Brady can get you somewhere in that same ballpark as well.
It's funny that you brought up Jameson. And Bruce Arians said 10 of those out of the 30 interceptions wasn't his fault. So if you add on 10 more, that's 43 touchdowns. And he still ain't getting over 55 touchdowns and for Jameson Winston. But I think if I had to give it a big number for how much Brady throw, I'll say about 45. I'll say he'd be like, what? I'll say like 40. I'll say like 45 passing touchdowns because it's the system is made of turning them into a passing attack. And you sign a Shady McCoy because he can catch out the backfield. And he's very fast. But I think Brady can throw about 40 touchdowns. Throw about 40 touchdowns this season.
I can't see it happening. Not 45. I say max at the most. He'll throw 34, 30, maybe 35 at the most. And I don't even think that's going to happen. I don't think that's a reach.
I think I'm going to see about 40. I think he's going to throw about 40, man, because he got a good personnel, like you said. Personnel that you can throw it to anyone. Everybody can catch on his team. I think it's right.
Real quick before we get out of here, I want to say something real quick. And we'll talk about this next week on the show. But I want to say something before we head into this weekend real quick. I think one of the most funniest things right now in sports, I think, is the fact that there are actually people who believe that Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
That's one of the funniest things that's going on right now in ideas in sports right now, that this idea that Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers, because he's not. He's not better than Aaron. He's not. Like, we need to stop. We need to kill this notion that Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers right now. He's never been better than Aaron Rodgers at no point in his career. He damn sure ain't better than Aaron Rodgers right now. But we can talk about that on next week's shows. We got plenty of time to get into that. Listen, man, like I told you, bro, I appreciate you holding it down for me and holding it down for the entire Wise Guys team. Myself, Jordan, holding it down for us with that interview with Christian. Did a hell of a job, but we got to bring Christian back on because I didn't get to that part of the interview when he said that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be I didn't get to that part, Clarence. And we got to bring him back. I'm damn near ready to tell Jordan that whoever we had scheduled to come on next week as a guest, cancel him. They're going to have to wait till Christian come back on. He got to answer this. He got to answer this.
2 guesses a week, man. But this right here for Christian Bradley, man, he stated it. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to be a top 5 player in the NFL. I'm like, whoa, that's a bold statement right there, man. But everybody go.
I need some answers. Yeah, I need some answers.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hey, everybody, go follow Wise Guys on Facebook at Wise Guys and Instagram. These Guys Know Sport and Twitter, Wise Guys _H. We're here live on the World Star Radio Sports Network, baby. Hey, Trey, great show for you, man. Great show today.
Glad to be back, bro. I'll see you on Monday. Next week, we're going to get it back going and get back into our rhythm because I got to light you up on these sports debates. Have a good weekend, bro.
Yeah, all right, man. Take it easy.
You too.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.